It was the night of the 4th of July, and Zilker Park in Austin, Texas was packed with people. Jason, his girlfriend Emily, and his younger brother Kyle had come to watch the fireworks. The air was filled with laughter, kids shouting, and the soft sounds of country music playing nearby. The smell of popcorn from the stalls mixed with the colorful bursts lighting up the sky, creating a cheerful atmosphere. Jason was enjoying it all and was recording everything on his camera to keep the memories fresh later. But just as the first firework exploded in the sky, Jason's eyes caught something near the tree line across the field, a shadowy figure, standing still, far but clearly visible. At first, Jason tried to brush it off, thinking his eyes were playing tricks on him. But then Emily whispered, "Jason, did you see that?" It looked like someone was standing by the trees in the firework light. His heart started racing a bit. He looked around, but there was no one among the crowd. Kyle, who was filming on his phone, suddenly said, "Hey, there's something moving on my screen." They all looked at the phone, but it just showed grass and trees, nothing there. Jason felt like someone was watching them. Every time a firework lit up the sky, Jason saw that shadow a little closer, standing perfectly still like no one was moving it. He held his breath. Slowly, with every flash, the shadow moved closer and closer. Its face was blurry, but Jason could swear its eyes were looking right at him, cold and empty. Emily grabbed Jason's hand and said, "I don't like this. Maybe we should move somewhere else." But Jason tried to calm her down, saying, "It's probably just our imagination. Nothing to worry about." He was scared too, but didn't want to admit it. Then, with the next firework burst, the shadow was standing out in the open grass, much closer than before. Jason's heart pounded harder. He felt like he wasn't alone, that someone was right behind him, staring. He slowly felt his breath quicken, his chest tighten like there was a heavy weight on it. He turned around, but it was dark and there was nothing there. Or maybe he just couldn't see it. For a moment, everything froze. In the flickering light of the fireworks, the shadow seemed to vanish. Jason told himself it was just his mind playing tricks, but inside, something wouldn't let him believe that. Then, with the final explosion, Jason saw the shadow right behind them, just a few feet away. It was smiling, but the smile was not warm. It was cold, empty, and terrifying. A chill ran down Jason's spine. He grabbed Emily and Kyle tightly and started running through the crowd toward their car. When they reached it, Jason looked at the windshield and saw a message written with a finger. "See you next year." Jason's heart sank. After that night, he was too scared to ever go out on the 4th of July again. That fear became a part of his life. Now he knew that behind every bright light, something was hiding. Something that only showed up in the fireworks glow. It wasn't from this world. It was a shadow that came back every year, watching, waiting. Jason still wonders. Next time you watch fireworks on the 4th of July, be careful, maybe someone's standing right behind you, visible only when the sky lights up. The silence of that 4th of July night had turned into pure fear inside Jason's mind. He told Emily and Kyle that he felt like someone was following them. His heart was racing, but all around them, people were busy having fun, dancing, laughing, enjoying themselves, which made Jason wonder if maybe it was all in his head, that he was just overthinking things. But then Kyle showed him the footage from his camera. In quick snapshots on the screen, a strange shadow appeared, looking just like a person, getting a little closer each time. A chill ran down Jason's spine. That same face kept flashing before his eyes, its smile visible in the dark, but something about it made him uneasy. Emily quietly said that when she was at the park last year, her grandfather told her that 10 years ago, on this very night, a man had gone missing, and the last time he was seen, he was standing by the trees in the firework light. Jason's breath caught in his throat. With the next firework explosion, he saw the shadow standing only about 30 feet away. The face was still hidden in darkness, but the cold, empty smile echoed in Jason's mind. Summoning his courage, Jason turned around, but the shadow had vanished. Then, as the next firework lit up the sky, the shadow suddenly appeared right in front of them, just a few steps away. Emily's voice trembled. "Jason, it's looking at us now. Its eyes are completely black." Jason realized it wasn't just a shadow, it was something alive staring right at them. Through the crowd, Jason grabbed Emily and Kyle and started running toward the parking lot. Kyle shouted nervously, "It's following us." Jason looked back but saw no one. Still, he felt a cold breeze brush his skin, sending shivers down his spine. They rushed to the car, and as Jason opened the driver's door, his eyes landed on the windshield. Written in finger-smudged letters were the words, "Almost there." Jason's heart pounded, his breathing ragged. He knew this wasn't over, it was just beginning. Sitting inside the car with the door shut, those words kept echoing in his mind. From that night on, Jason's life changed. Every sound, every shadow reminded him of that figure. He could never spend a 4th of July night without feeling scared. That face with black eyes kept appearing in his mind, always accompanied by a cold, biting wind, a silent message that it was not far away. Jason knew the shadow was still following him, and next time the fireworks lit up the sky, it would come back. That fear had settled deep inside him, and it wasn't going anywhere. For Jason, the 4th of July was no longer just a celebration, it had become a day of a twisted game with a shadow that returned every year to stare at him, reminding him the game was far from over. Jason started the car and quickly pulled out of the parking lot. The silence that night left a strange kind of fear hanging over them. Their breaths were fast and uneven, like something bad was about to happen at any moment. When they stopped at a red light, Emily looked back and whispered, "Jason, he's standing behind us." Jason checked the rearview mirror, but there was no one there. His heart started pounding hard. Once they got home, Kyle replayed the video footage and saw that in one frame, the same shadow was standing right behind Jason, but no one had noticed it at the time. Jason's sleep was completely gone. Every few minutes, he felt like someone was staring at him through the window. Whenever he got up to check, there was nothing there. The next morning, Emily called Jason and asked, "Did you notice what was written on the car window?" Jason reminded her, "Almost there." But deep down, he remembered something else too. He said, "Emily, when I first got to the car, the window said, 'See you next year.'" Jason couldn't bring himself to tell anyone the whole truth. He knew this fear was going to stay with him forever. The 4th of July was no longer just a day to celebrate. He stayed inside, too scared to go out. That shadow had cast a deep, dark mark on his life. Jason still says that the brighter the 4th of July lights shine, the darker the shadows hiding behind them. So next time you go watch fireworks, be careful. Maybe there's someone standing just in the light, slowly getting closer to you. And if it's real, it's watching you, tracking every move you make. For Jason, that fear became his shadow. One that comes back every year on that day to remind him that it's never far away, just one step behind. It was the evening of the 4th of July in Scranton, Pennsylvania, at an old Victorian-style house where Olivia and her husband Matt were hosting their first BBQ party in their new home. The house was about 120 years old, with its creaky wooden walls and narrow hallways that made anyone feel a little uneasy. Olivia wasn't too excited about the house, but Matt loved old homes, so they bought it a few months ago. The backyard was decorated with hanging lights. The smell of BBQ filled the air, and in the distance, the sounds of fireworks echoed. Neighbors, office friends, and Matt's old college buddy Greg were all there. The mood was happy, people were laughing and chatting, but Greg kept glancing toward the house, especially at the basement. Suddenly he laughed and said, your basement looks pretty sketchy. I'd be scared to go down there alone at night." Matt joked back, "Yeah, it's pretty dirty down there. I don't go much either." As the night grew late, the party started to wind down, and people began heading home. Olivia, Matt, and Greg sat in the living room, drinking beers. Outside, it was quiet except for the faint sounds of the last fireworks. Then, suddenly, Olivia heard a soft sound coming from the basement, very faint, like someone whispering, "Help! Help!" She froze, her breath caught, and she started shaking with fear. Greg asked nervously, "Is there someone else here?" Olivia just shook her head, scared. Matt laughed and said, "Maybe a neighbor's playing a prank, or the sounds are just echoing." But Greg looked serious and said, "I'm going to check it out." He grabbed a flashlight and started heading down the basement stairs. Olivia tried to stop him. "No, don't go down there." But Greg said, "Just 2 minutes, I'll be right back." Greg slowly descended the stairs. 5 minutes passed, then 10. But Greg didn't come back. Olivia, terrified, went to the basement door and looked down, shouting, "Greg?" But only silence answered her. The "help, help" whispers echoed again, now even fainter and seeming farther away. Matt came over, worry clear on his face. A strange coldness filled the house, like a hidden danger was nearby. That night, Greg disappeared without a trace. The walls of the house felt like part of a scary story, and the secret hidden in the basement echoed every year on the 4th of July night. Olivia and Matt's lives were never the same, and every time that night comes around, the fear returns, that same voice crying for help. But no one can see or hear it. About 15 minutes after Greg went down into the basement and still hadn't come back, Matt started to get really worried. He told Olivia to stay upstairs while he grabbed a flashlight and headed down himself. As soon as he stepped into the basement, a cold, dusty air surrounded him. Old wood was scattered around with broken furniture, and rusty pipes on the walls were dripping water. Every corner was swallowed in darkness, and Matt's footsteps echoed through the empty space. He began searching for Greg, but found no sign of him anywhere. Suddenly, Matt heard a faint voice whispering, "Matt, help." He quickly turned around but saw no one. His breathing got heavy, and a cold breeze brushed against his skin. Moving forward, he noticed something hanging on the wall. Greg's shirt, oddly draped over an old rusty nail. On the muddy floor, scratch marks made by fingers stretched toward a dark corner far away. Matt's heart started pounding harder. He tried to head back upstairs, but just then, Olivia's voice called out from above, "Matt, I saw a shadow moving in the hallway, but there's no one here." Frozen with fear, Matt hurried up the stairs. When he reached the top, Olivia was standing at the door, asking, "Did you find Greg?" Matt couldn't answer. His voice caught in his throat. Together, they called the police. Officers arrived and searched the entire house thoroughly, especially the basement. They checked every corner but found no trace of Greg. The strangest part was the security footage. It showed Greg only walking to the living room. He never actually went down the basement stairs. Hearing this, Olivia and Matt were shocked. At 3 in the morning, while everyone was asleep, Olivia heard the same voice again, coming from the basement door. "Help, please." But Matt didn't hear anything. That voice carried a heavy sadness, like someone begging for help, but no one was there to be seen. Olivia trembled with fear, and Matt's eyes widened with terror. He realized that the voice wasn't just human, it was something beyond this world. The basement had become a mysterious place, where Greg vanished and a chilling story was born. Since that night, Olivia and Matt's lives were never the same. Every 4th of July night brought a new fear, a helpless voice calling out from the unknown. The next day, news of Greg's disappearance spread fast, and the police started searching the whole neighborhood, but no trace of Greg was found. For Olivia and Matt, it was incredibly hard to hear. Olivia was scared and unsettled, often saying she could hear Greg's voice coming from the basement at night, crying out for help. Matt tried to reassure her, saying it was probably her imagination. But Olivia's fear didn't go away. Matt had the basement door completely sealed shut so no one could go down there again. Still, Olivia said she sometimes heard knocking noises coming from inside the basement, noises that kept her awake at night. A year later, on another 4th of July night, Matt was away at work and Olivia was home alone. Around 11:30 p.m., with fireworks echoing in the sky, Olivia heard the same faint voice again, slow and desperate, calling her name from the basement. Olivia. Please. Terrified, she went to the basement door and tried to open it, but it was firmly locked. Suddenly, she heard 2 soft knocks on the door from below. Her whole body shook. The next day, Olivia told the police she believed Greg was still trapped in the basement. They searched again but found nothing, no signs, no shirt, no trace of Greg. But Olivia's heart didn't believe it was empty. In one corner of the basement, she found an old Polaroid photo showing Greg standing there, wearing that same old shirt. On the back of the photo, in big letters, was written, "Stay." Olivia's mind went blank. She still says that every 4th of July, when fireworks light up the night, she hears a voice begging for help from the basement. Greg never left the house. He became part of it, a mysterious and frightening presence that returns every year on that night, asking for help and revealing the dark secrets hidden inside. Olivia's fear has never gone away, and she still doesn't dare open that basement door. Her life remains tied to the echoes of that voice, stealing her sleep every 4th of July and waking her with an unknown terror. It was the evening of the 4th of July in a quiet suburban neighborhood in Eugene, Oregon. Every house on the street was hosting a party, and Tyler had come with his friend Brandon to a block party at a nearby home. The whole neighborhood was glowing with lights, kids were lighting sparklers, the smell of BBQ filled the air, and distant fireworks boomed in the sky. Tyler wasn't very social, but he came along because Brandon convinced him. They sat in lawn chairs watching the fireworks light up the sky while Tyler recorded videos on his phone. That's when Tyler noticed a young boy about 10 years old, wearing a white shirt and blue jeans, standing alone among the crowd. The strange thing was, the boy wasn't talking or laughing. He was just staring at everyone with empty eyes, as if he had no feelings at all. Brandon asked Tyler, "Do you know that kid?" Tyler shook his head. "No, he doesn't seem like he's from around here." Both of them felt a little uneasy. Curious, Tyler asked the homeowner, Mr. Anderson, "Is that kid someone you invited?" Mr. Anderson looked surprised and said, "No, I've never seen him before." The boy's quiet, distant behavior made everyone uncomfortable. Whenever someone tried to approach, he would slowly step back but never ran away. His empty stare sent chills down people's spines. Brandon added, "Every time that boy is around, the temperature seems to drop. Did you feel that too?" Tyler was now fully alert. Despite the laughter and fun at the party, the boy's presence brought an eerie silence and coldness to the air. As the party wound down, Tyler started heading home. Suddenly, he turned around and saw the boy still standing alone in a corner of Mr. Anderson's lawn. His empty eyes were fixed right on Tyler, watching him like he was waiting for something. Tyler's breath caught, and his heart raced. Since that night, Tyler always felt the shadow of that boy's gaze, someone who showed up, but no one knew who he really was or why he was never invited to the party. That night, Tyler and Brandon were watching the video clips Tyler had recorded at the party earlier. On the screen, they noticed the mysterious boy appeared in different spots in every clip, but no one seemed to see him or interact with him. The boy's presence was clear on camera, yet no one mentioned him or noticed anything unusual during the party. Suddenly, Tyler found a small note in his backpack, written in childlike handwriting. "Thank you for playing with me." Brandon was shocked and yelled, "This has got to be a joke. When did you put this here?" Tyler stayed quiet, but looked visibly uneasy. He glanced out the window toward the driveway, where he saw a faint movement, but nothing clear. Brandon laughed it off, thinking it was probably some kid from the neighborhood playing a prank. But Tyler felt deep down that something was wrong. Around 2 a.m., Tyler went downstairs to get a glass of water. When he looked out the window, he froze. The boy was standing right there, motionless like a statue. Tyler locked the door immediately and closed all the curtains. But when he returned to his room, he found another note on his desk. "I like your house." Tyler's heart pounded, and a cold shiver ran through his body. He woke Brandon up, and together they decided to leave the house. But when they stepped outside, there was no sign of the boy. The whole street was eerily silent. All the windows were shut tight, and a strange chill hung in the air. The next morning, as the first sunlight appeared, Tyler saw a message written in chalk right outside his front door. "See you next year." Tyler felt his soul freeze. He knew this was no ordinary prank. That boy wasn't from this world. He came back every year on the 4th of July night. Tyler still fears that day, haunted by the boy's name, his shadow, and his eerie silence. Those empty eyes keep coming back to him, silently watching, slowly getting closer. And that fear has become a permanent part of his life. On the morning after the 4th of July in a quiet neighborhood in Eugene, Oregon, there was a strange buzz going around. In front of every house there was a small, worn-out piece of paper with childlike handwriting that read, "Thank you for letting me be part of your party." At first, no one felt scared because the note seemed innocent, but as people thought more about it, unease started to spread. The weirdest part was that no one recognized the boy who supposedly wrote the notes. He wasn't seen at any school, in the neighborhood, or in any old photos. People kept asking around but got no answers. Brandon, Tyler's close friend, changed completely after that day. He told Tyler he couldn't sleep well anymore, and always felt like someone was watching him, but whenever he looked back, no one was there. Tyler's own fear grew. He started digging into old news and local records, where he found a story that chilled him to the bone. About 12 years ago, a boy named Eli Parker, around 10 years old, went missing from the very same street. The last time Eli was seen was on the night of the 4th of July. When Tyler saw Eli's photo, his heart skipped. Eli was the same boy he saw at the party, with those empty eyes that scared everyone. Tyler was sure now that the boy wasn't normal. He was the shadow of a lost child, a mystery that never got solved, coming back every year on the 4th of July night. The next year, when the 4th of July came again, Tyler left town. He never stayed home on that day. Brandon and the others also stayed away from the neighborhood to avoid the strange and mysterious boy. Even today, people in Eugene say that every 4th of July, when fireworks light up the sky, a silent, unknown boy joins the party. He doesn't speak, just watches quietly, and then leaves a thank you note on everyone's door. No one knows who he is, where he comes from, or what he wants. But one thing's certain: he returns every year, like a ghostly shadow carrying a dark secret hidden beneath the celebration. So next time you're at a 4th of July party, watch carefully. Those empty eyes might just be watching you. So that was today's story, the third part of Creepy True 4th of July Horror Stories, where we uncovered the tale of that mysterious boy who suddenly appears at the 4th of July party every year, sending chills down everyone's spine with his strange presence. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to subscribe to the channel Chilling Talks, so you don't miss out on more real and terrifying stories every week. Stay with us on this journey through fear, where every story will give you goosebumps. Drop a comment below telling us which part scared you the most, and if you've ever felt something weird on the 4th of July, don't forget to hit the bell icon so you get notified as soon as a new video drops. Until then, stay alert and remember, real fear often hides in what you can't see. Join Chilling Talks and become part of stories that shake your soul.